Welcome back, eSIM Studios. Have a case review for the Google Pixel 9 Pro XL. Have the Spigen Ultra Hybrid for the Pixel 9 Pro XL. Been using this for the last few days, and I really like it. Now, this is not a paid video. This is not a sponsored video. This is me. I purchased this with my own money, and just reviewing a case that I actually enjoy. Now, a little history, if you're not familiar with me and my love of cases, I don't like clear cases. Simple fact that you do get fingerprints. That's one of the negatives of these. However, it does look cool on the device because you do get to see the color, the natural look and design of the device, but it does pick up fingerprints, right? But I've been kind of happy with this one. Will it get fingerprints? Yes, but they're not as pronounced as you would expect, right? So they do show up, but I have not had to be cleaning this like every 5 minutes like some of the other cases that have clear back. So I think it's a superior material, clear material that they're using that not necessarily is fingerprint proof, but is fingerprint resistant, basically. You see what I'm saying? Now, it'll still show fingerprints, but they're just not as noticeable as some other cheaper cases that probably use inferior materials for their clear components back here. But this is the case, the box, nothing special. It is what it is. You all know a phone case box when you see one, so we'll throw that to the side. And we'll get into this. Now, let me move this so it doesn't lose focus. So here's the case, the Ultra Hybrid. Now, pretty interesting case. If at first glance, like, okay, well, it's just a clear case, but you can tell this is what you get from a more recognized company that actually does put a little more R&D, research and development, into the production and manufacturing of their products. Because when you look at this, you're like, well, it's just a normal clear case. But I think you can notice it has some little tabs up here. Now, they're not that noticeable. I don't think they're that, you don't really look at them when you first see it, but after noticing it, you do. Now, why are these there? So they got two at the top, and they got two at the bottom. Check this out. So you got one there and a tab there. Now, what does that do? It prevents wobbling, right? So when you have the phone, and we'll put the phone in just a second, but when you got the phone in, it doesn't wobble. Keeps it flat on the surface. Other reason, it prevents this from being scratched. It provides just enough lift. So obviously this provides lift because you can see it's raised about 2 millimeters. This is raised, I think, about 1 millimeter. And 1 millimeter here. But what that does is provides lift. So this back clear product right here, this material, does not make contact with the surface you're laying it down on. And they do that on purpose because when you're moving it around while the phone is on its back, you're not scratching that clear material. Now, you can tell it does have a little bit of fingerprints. I tried to clean it. And again, that's why I don't really use these, just because, look, I got a little OCD. I'm not cleaning my stuff every 5 seconds. Like, oh my God, I got a fingerprint. I got to clean it. I'm not OCD like that, but I definitely don't want it to be just a goo all over the back of my clear device. But let's look at what else it offers. It offers cutouts here for the, you can see right through the sides. Are they cut out? No, yeah, barely. You can tell right there and right there. Now, why do they do that? Why does that matter? It provides easy push. You can tell it's easy to push it in. It's easy to make your selection for the volume down, volume up, and then power right there. And then you got nice, big, precise cutouts for your speakers, for your power cable, and your microphone at the bottom. You got branding right there, flush side, and then you have a cutout for your microphone up top. Now, how is this constructed? How is the mold, right? Because these are two separate materials. You have a material here, clear back, and then this black border is a material. So they have to forge them together. How well did they put this together? Can it come apart? Can you pop it out? Is there any glue that you see separating the clear part from the frame, and I don't see any. What about on the inside? I don't see any. So it is and that's what you get from Spigen. That's what separates them from other case manufacturers. You get that precision. Now my OCD is kicking in a little bit. Let me clean this up. Give me a second. All right, how does that look? Any better? Yeah, a little better. So got these smudges off of there. A little better. Does this have air pockets? Yes, it does. It's got one air pocket here, which is basically like an airbag for a car, right? It cushions the impact. For your device, helps absorb the impact, the inertia that your phone gets when you do drop it. So there are air pockets in here, which I like. And what is that? Branding on the inside. Spigen, incorporated in Irvine, California, made in South Korea. There's the model number MP672UH1. Really nice case. Now, enough talking. Let's throw it on the device. It goes in nice and easy. Just like that. Look at that. Real nice. Real nice. It allows you, so no matter what color you have, whether it's the hazel, whether it's basically silver, you have the black, you have the white. It provides a look into what color of phone you have. So mine's the black, although it kind of looks gray in certain lighting, but it is the matte black, which does look very nice on the device. Now let's put it on its back and show you there's no wobble. There's no wobble whatsoever. So those little tabs on all four corners in the back do a good job of protecting this. Now, is the camera protected? Let's see. Now, it is an exposed camera, which I know some people like. I reviewed this case, and you can tell the difference. This case actually has more protection for the camera right now. Not saying that Spigen doesn't protect the camera bar, but look, it has individual cutouts for the camera sensors, the depth sensor, thermometer, and the flash up here, and this is exposed. Now, it's not entirely a bad thing because look, let's hold it sideways. It's close. Now, the camera cutout barely comes up and over these sensors, so you can tell here it barely comes up. So that's important because when you lay this on its back, it does provide just enough lift up and over the camera sensor to where you're not going to scratch that camera bar in the back. Now, that is one downside. That is a complete cutout. So I know some people like that. They do like the look of that camera bar, but just be aware that there are some cases that do provide a little more protection. Let's see what else we got here. Let's look at the cutouts. Speaker, power cable, microphone, flush, side, and you got the mic up top. Then you have the buttons here. Are they clicky? Let's find out. So it is rather clicky, which is nice. Not too loud, but just a subtle click, right? Now let's look at the screen protection. So we know it just barely comes up and over here. I mean, that's as close as it gets without being flush. And that's probably a fingernail's distance between the camera bar and the border of the cutout. It barely comes up and over, which technically it will prevent scratching from your camera bar, but you might still be at risk at cracking your camera bar if you do drop this on concrete, and let's say it lands flat down on the concrete or parking lot that you're walking in. Be careful, because if there's any gravel, if there's any rocks, that camera cutout is not tall enough, does not provide enough lift to protect this. It will protect it from scratches, but if you do drop it on a rock or a little pebble, you're going to be in trouble. So this is like a minimal case, so to speak. you know, it provides protection. It's more for looks than protection. As you can tell, this is the reason why I don't necessarily like these clear back cases, but it is what it is. I thought this would look cool, but it does. Let's see. I have it cleaned off. Here's a finger. Let's see if I can get it to fingerprint on here. There's a light. So I'm going to take this finger and put it right here. Yep, yeah, there's a fingerprint. So just be aware. I've seen some that are worse, right? I don't think there's any way you can design this to make it fingerprint proof. I think if you put any clear back on a case, it will show fingerprints. Again, this is probably a little better material, meaning they probably paid a little more, maybe a couple cents more per panel than a cheaper case company. So it's going to show fingerprints, probably just not as much as some others, but just note that, to make a mental note of that. But you can get a good sense of how thick the borders are. You know what? We'll put the phone back in there for a second because we need to check the screen. But let me take this out and look just how thick this is. So that is flexible. Not a lot of flex, but just enough to make it, you know, okay to put the phone in and out of. But it is rather rigid, which is good. This is a hard material not meant to flex, and this is a softer material meant to flex. Now you do have a you do have a lanyard hole cut out there. I did forget to mention that, just on the right side of the case. So if you're left-handed, you might have to get a longer lanyard than using it on your right hand, which would wrap around your wrist right there. But let's throw it back in there and look at the screen protection real quick. So it does come up and over 360 degrees all around the display. You can tell it comes up and over the sides, comes up and over here on the top, which is good. So you will not scratch your display. Would this prevent your phone from getting a cracked display if you drop this on concrete? I don't know. I hate to say that, I don't know, but look, each drop is different, right? I mean, the dynamics, the way you drop it from a height matters. What type of material it lands on, what type of material your case is made of. Every drop is different, so I don't know, right? Honestly. But would I feel comfortable leaving the house with this, or the office? Maybe, but this would not be my first choice. This is a case that's good for inside, right? Because this definitely will protect your your phone from cracks, I believe, inside a home, inside an office, inside of a gym. If you drop it on hardwood floor, it should survive, obviously carpet, but even, what is it, linoleum flooring, or like I said, hardwood, maybe even tile, but concrete, I'm not sure. I wouldn't risk it, but obviously it's up to you. Does look nice though, so if you want to use this, if you're like me, what I do is I use a case inside the home and office, and when I leave the home or office, get in my car, I know I'm going to get out of my car into a parking lot, concrete on the ground. Whenever I leave the home or office, I put on a more protective case, so I know if I drop my phone, it'll be protected. I know I'm kind of, I'm sure not many people do that. They usually just throw a case on their phone and use it for whatever they do, but I change mine up every day, so that's why we are the best at case reviews here on YouTube, just because I've got a lot of experience with cases, so I've probably purchased thousands throughout the years and examine these very thoroughly. So if you are into case reviews, we're getting an iPhone on the way. We have Samsung devices, we have Pixel devices, so we're going to do a ton of case reviews for the iPhone we're getting in. So stay tuned to the channel. I have more cases on the way for this Pixel, and here's a case here that is a frosted back, right? So this is frost. This prevents even more fingerprints. If you want to see me review this and what it looks like on here, simply find this Actually, I'll probably link it in the description below. So if you want to see the review of this, you can check it out. This prevents fingerprints. So let me get out of here so I can record this one. If you got any questions, give me a holler. Peace.